Welcome back everyone to the party with the Nintendo Super Power Club Challenge channel as we return to the Gulf in more explosive action. This is Bill once again, and today we're looking at Desert Strike, and this is card number 49 in the collection. So this game, Desert Strike, is another game based on real events from the Persian Gulf War of the early 90s. And basically you're operating in a helicopter in a top-down view, going around blowing up almost everything in sight, looking to save people and destroy regimes and dictators and all that lovely fun stuff. It's actually a lot of fun. It's a game that went under the radar for a lot of people, but if you have a chance to find this and play it, like many games in this collection, I definitely recommend giving it a shot. Speaking of things that are going to get shot, let's take a look at this challenge here. Okay, I'm going to say up front, this is a pretty tricky challenge if you've never been exposed to this game before here. Here's what I mean. Challenge says, in campaign number 1, try destroying these objectives without finishing the objectives preceding them and without losing a helicopter, basically without dying. On Pro, that's going to be the command centers. So, as you can probably figure out, the command centers are one of the hardest objectives to get to, mainly because of all the other objectives preceding it. Typically the way it works is when you destroy things like the radar stations and the power fields, it makes it a lot easier to go after the other objectives, mainly the command centers. When you go after them the way that the challenge is written, you're going to have a lot more enemies to deal with, and they're going to have a lot more range than they typically do. So clearly, this is going to be an extremely difficult challenge, particularly if you're unprepared for it. Oh, by the way, this is technically an impossible challenge, but we'll get more on that once we start talking about it in the video. So sit back, relax, and watch Desert Strike Return to the Gulf on the Super NES. Here we go. Okay, as far as setup goes, there's a couple things to get out of the way right now. Go into options, make sure your control is set to from above. It's going to make your control scheme a lot easier, and you'll see what I mean. For co-pilot, make sure you're picking Lieutenant Keith Michaels. He has much better aim with the regular gun, and you're going to be using that consistently, particularly when you're hovering. Trust me, you want Lieutenant Michaels. And when the game starts here, you're going to have a chance to get off of this carrier in the water and kind of test around, play with the controls. But let's go to the map and the radar and all these other objectives. The command center is your main objectives. There's 2 of them that you have to destroy, and obviously they're far to the right. You got to get through a lot of stuff to get to them, but it's not as hard as it seems to fly over there. Check your guns, your hydras, your missiles, your fuel, your armor. Take note of all that stuff, and you're flying all the way over to the right. You can destroy stuff if you want to, but it's really not worth it because you're taking a risk of taking damage, and you don't have too much of it in this run. And remember, if you die even one time, the challenge is over. So I would strongly advise avoiding combat as much as possible until you get to the objectives on the far right. You're going to have a few opportunities to kill some SAM silos and some things like this, so this is a good opportunity, I suppose, if you're unfamiliar with the controls, to play around with them and shoot them down. So as you can see, that's the regular gun, and it will home in on some of the regular enemies here, particularly if you have Lieutenant Michaels with you, and you should. By the way, the danger zone is indicating that you are in an area that you really shouldn't be because you haven't taken down some objectives yet. You've also probably seen that we ran into a mountaintop here. That can happen, and yes, it can hurt you, so be very careful when you're flying around. Right now I'm using the hover mode, as you can see a couple of times. You'll hold in the L or R triggers. It will allow you to stay in the same prone position, I guess you could call it, and fly around and shoot stuff. This is an anti-air missile launcher. If those things hit you, they will cause massive damage. They won't outright kill you, but you definitely want to take note of them. We're getting very close to our first silo, and you notice how you're going to approach these things from the south. You need to approach them from the south because, trust me, taking out the command centers is much easier from a cardinal direction than from a diagonal. You'll see what I mean. With these enemy towers here, take them out with the B button. The B missiles, they're much easier and takes a lot less time and effort than the regular gun. These things, again, use the regular gun you've seen before. Don't go after the command centers right there in the middle with the radar. Don't go after them until all of the relevant enemies nearby have been taken out. In this case they have. We're going to take 2 regular missiles with the A button. And in this case, the enemy actually shot a missile into it for us, so that made it very easy. Right here, what I'm picking up is an armor refill. They're very easy to get. Basically, you just hover over top of them and it will pick it up. And you will need it to take out the second command center if you want to have any hope of getting through without dying. So make sure that you do that before you approach the second command center. Very cautiously and carefully approach from the south like we did the first one. Keep moving up. Take out anything that gets in the way. You will have 1 tower here for sure, so take it out with the B missiles. Take out any other ground artillery that you see, and once it's all clear, you should be able to just fire 2 or 3 A missiles into the command center. And that should be it. There aren't too many more enemies to be aware of. So 2 or 3 missiles right in the command center, and that's going to be the end of the challenge. Now normally in a regular playthrough, when you take out these command centers, there will be a commander that comes out of there that you have to capture to complete the objective. Here, for whatever reason, it doesn't happen. Now I don't know if that's because we went out of order, because when you do this, there's another objective. You can go through and you're going to see on the mission and status signs that the objectives are technically not completed. So as I said earlier, this is actually an impossible challenge as it's laid out. But it is what it is. We did what the thing asked us to do, so I'm going to mark it complete. Challenge in the books. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.